This is from Biafrans Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong, but them military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. ONYE massacre, Abba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I touched me, oh. Remember when me tell you say I touched me, oh. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way would you go like a Abba Nuku? But then they were Boniro. Me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi Samiro. Me tell you what I day. For we just fall and the rest of man I tell you what I do. Me know that you come to tell them
heroes, I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
And I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom and to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, we'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We play in our history that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bomb, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. ONYE massacre, Abba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in the heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm falling here.
This is for my fallen heroes. Keep them on the patient people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause we to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for me, for the freedom of my unborn child. We
in the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma chọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wuzi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-emeghị omimi n'ime ya ihe ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe arụgidere ụlọ anọ ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta ọgwụ nke ndị nụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye ire rie niile ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka echehata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwekwe na ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro okwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ
akụkọ akọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ ewu chụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi wee kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ewu ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe ji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria agaghị
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu akụ ka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe ekegbu anyị nwu nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu odo na onye onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ bụ mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa gbupụ m isi a sị na-achọghị ụdị nka ọwụga
onye si na ya ga-ata anyị ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fee arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị pụta anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụla anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha gaa n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi na-ekwu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizọba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dị ga-otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọgbọgọwa mgbe mmiri na Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe na-emebi n'afọ sikwa otu a mee ka fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị ga-ebi ka o wee taa akọkọ ikiri ọtọ ọsọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ bụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa onye ọbụla kere gị n'oge malite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị gwa amakwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ebe mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe mee ka ebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu abịa ma
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this day program. I appreciate everyone that has connected. Wherever you are connecting from, please kindly like and share the program on your platform. Share to family and friends. Share to everyone that is close to you. Share so that we can be able to reach out to as many people as possible on today's program. You know, our duty here is to continue to expose those things that we are supposed to expose. Our duty here is to make sure that the voice of the Biafran people are heard. We will continue to expose all the atrocities of the Janjaweed, all the manipulation of the Janjaweed. That is our duty, and we will continue to expose them. No matter how they try to dehumanize us, no matter how they try to change the narrative, no matter how they try to push their evil agenda, we will never back down. No matter how they attack us right, left, and center, we will never back down. So I appreciate everyone that has the opportunity to join us this evening. Remember, our evening program is a very quick and short one. And we are going to try to do it as much as we can. We were able to conduct our morning program with all the attack we are having on our platform. There is nothing we can do. We do not own the platform. YouTube own their platform and they can do whatever they wish. So the attack they are attacking our platform is not in our hand. We will continue to do our little best to share informations. The only way you can be able to help us is to share. When you join the program, you share it. That is the only way we can be able to stand strong and continue to broadcast. There is no other thing we can do because we don't have the authority or power to decide how they operate in their algorithm. It is a very disturbing attack that we are having, but we will not give up. We will continue to print a message. I still want to remind every one of you that in this platform, we don't come to instigate violence. We do not come to preach hate. All we do is to present Biafra to the world as the only remedy to the failed state, Nigeria. Biafra is the only remedy, and we remain the only remedy. We will never allow them to manipulate or divert our attention. We will never allow their lies and propaganda to fly. We will not allow their atrocities, their lies to hold sway. The only thing we have to do is to continue to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. We will continue to hold on to that which is the right thing to do. We will never back down. They are trying to oppress us. They try to make us walk away from what we are doing. But the more they try that, the more they give us the reason to fight on. Because it is only somebody that is doing something meaningful that they attack. If you are not having any impact, they will not attack you. So, my fellow Biafran, I welcome every one of you. And in this evening program, we will do what we know how to do best. In this evening program, as you can see, we have chosen a topic which says the foundation of Nigerian disunity. Who engineered it? The foundation of Nigerian disunity. Who engineered it? The foundation of Nigerian disunity started all the way from the colonial master, the British. The colonial power, they are the one that planted the disunity. They are the one that engineered it. They are the foundation. And they passed it on to the Janjaweed. Today, the Caliphate, the Janjaweed are the one today using that same method to oppress, to manipulate, and to destroy innocent lives. But we will not allow them to succeed in all their manipulation, in all their evil, in all their strategy. They will always fail. Because the people know what they want. We, the people, we know what we want, and no amount of propaganda or blackmail of the enemy will make us forget what we want. As we said in the morning, we thank God that the spirit of Biafra is coming back fully. The spirit of Biafra, the spirit of ONYE AGHANA NWANNEYA is taking control. And no matter what the enemy say, no matter their propaganda and blackmail, they will definitely fail. Because who brought us and gave us the opportunity to fight this battle this time, he will never back down. Chukwu will continue to do his work for us. Chukwu will continue to fight our battle. Chukwu will continue to give us the grace to overcome. No matter how they try to drag us down, they will continue to fail because we have not taken their own. We have not stolen anything from them. Instead, they are the one that are stealing from us. We didn't take anything from them. They are the one that have taken from us and continue to take from us. And even at that, they still don't want us to have our peace. So, every evil they plan against us, we definitely come back on them. That is why I am urging every one of us, wherever you may be at this time, that we must stand firm and stand strong. Do not allow anyone to bully you around. Don't allow their propaganda and their blackmail to distract you. We must remain on that path that we are. We are on the right path. And we are fighting the right battle. No matter what the enemies are saying, no matter what they do, we must not give up. They will be fighting us with everything they have because they have all the money, they have all the connection, they have all the backup and links. But what do we have? We have Chukwu Okike Abiam. And remember, one with God is majority. As long as we continue to obey the word of Chukwu Okike Abiam, as long as we continue to walk in unity, we shall overcome. No matter how long it takes, at the end of the day, victory is going to be ours. We will definitely be victorious. So do not be afraid, do not be scared. A lot of things will be happening. Don't be afraid. Do not get discouraged, because this is a battle that must be won. And I bet you we are already winning the battle. If you cannot see it now, just be patient and watch. You are going to see it very soon. So this evening, I've come to encourage you, to ask you to continue to stand strong. That we know those who planted the evil among us. We know those who are trying to subjugate us, and we know those who want to keep us stand still. It is the British. They employ the Janjaweed to do the work, and the Janjaweed is doing the work happily for them. But that is not going to stop us. We will continue to fight until we defeat them. So this evening we have come once again, and I'm going to play some interesting video that caught my attention this evening. So I want you to pay attention to the videos we are going to play this evening, so that you can understand what is going on in that contraption. I saw a video that was made by the Middle Beltans. Middle Beltans are speaking up that they do not want to be the part of the Zoological. They are not. Each time they parade that fake figure that was given by the British, they tell you that the Northerners have the highest population. The Northern Nigeria has the highest population. The Northern Nigeria has it's a lie from the pit of hell. The North does not have any Northern population. They don't have that population they claim they have. The North do not have the population. I have said it time and time again that we are the highest population in Nigeria. The most populated tribe in Nigeria is the Igbo tribe. But because of their hatred and fear, they have continued to change the statistics, change the numbers, maneuver, give fake figures and fake numbers, just to break us down and make us feel as we are irrelevant. But that can never stand. We know whom we are, and we don't seek approval from anybody to tell us whom we are. We don't need any approval for that. We do not need any approval whatsoever to be who we are supposed to be. So wherever you are watching this program this evening, I want you to pay attention to what we are going to hear on this very video I'm about to play. You are going to learn a lot, and that will equally encourage you, so that you know you are not the only one in this battle. In as much as we are the one that are outspoken, we are speaking louder because we have faced the most, we have lost the most number of people, the most grievous attack, the most marginalizations against us. So that is why we will not keep silent. We will continue to talk, what to speak. But it doesn't mean that we are the only one affected. So many other people are affected. So many other regions are affected. So many other regions are crying. So for you to know that you're not alone in this battle, I want you to pay attention to this video we're about to play. You are going to learn a lot from it. Let us hear what the message in that video is saying and what I say. You'll be glad you did. Let's listen and hear what they have to say.
I want to open by
acknowledging the extraordinarily gifted personalities of socio-political significance here with us. I am thrilled and enamored of the presence of the man who swore us, the revered barrister ONYE AGHANA NWANNEYA, a distinguished son of the Igbo belt, and director of the Nigerian Police Service Commission. I will be very brief, but I want us to understand one thing. When we talk about Igbo belt, when we talk about Mandem, when we talk about Ohalism, when we talk about identifying, it's all about consciousness, identity, and definition. Once upon a time, as a result of the collapse of the Alliance of Oyo, the Egbas established the Egba Kingdom. And thereafter, there was a socio-political bloc referred to as the Egbados. And there was an attempt to impose imperial rule over the Egbados. But the Egbados woke up one day and said, no, we are no longer Egbados. We are Yewas. And they have remained Yewas till this day. From Ibokia to Emeko to Songota, they have defined themselves. Pay attention. There is a need for us to revisit the pre-independence legacy of Nigeria. Before the 1914 Act of Amalgamation, the colonial masters, we in the middle there were referred to as the Central Sudanese territories. We were never defeated. We were never conquered. We were never subordinated. We were never subdued. And I am happy that there are steerings all over the Middle Belt. In Bauchi, the Zals now have their chiefdom. And more chiefdoms have been created in Adamawa State, from Hong to Song. More chiefdoms have been created to add to the Uatie confederacy of Bajama, Bata, and Tungula. And it's happening all over the place. Because you can't force a name on us. I want to use this opportunity to say, I feel very bad. I was speaking to a friend. I said, from where are you? He said, he's Jabba. I said, you cannot be Jabba. You are hell. What is Jabba? Is that home rats that smells? You want to answer the way that your oppressors gave you. You are harm. Your king is the top harm. Your national day is the two-harm day. So where did Jabba come from? And all these stereotypes, these tropes are all around. People are giving us names to make us feel inferior to subordinate us. As the Yewas took a peaceful stand, as the Yewas said we are no longer Egbago but Yewas, we, the polyglots, plurinational politics, ethnic nationalities on the New Belt say we are not. We are the New Belt. We have Muslims, we have Christians, we have beggars. And with this conclave, with this concourse, it's easy for a Nubian Muslim to become Mr. President. It's easy for a Tini Christian, for an Idoma Christian, for a Power Christian, for a Zal Christian, for an Ankwe, for a Gomai, for an Ibolo, for an Ibomina. It's possible for them to become Mr. President. Every time people superimpose and rhetorics, I want to make clear that we do not, and we never subscribe to the same socio-cultural historical nationalism. We are who we are. We conquered the land, brought it into other groups. The carrying capacity of the middle belt is unparalleled, is unprecedented, is unequal. We have everything. And 1 second insult is, you are a minority. So where did that come from? Many Winnipoots have made themselves photographers. We are the done. And when you disagree and becomes form, you see that we are really the minority. Taking together from the federal capital territory of Abuja, which is now the political center of Biafra in Nigerian state, I want to assure you that if we come together like we have come together today, we are going to become the occupant of Aso Rock presidential villa. We are going to become governors. We are going to become ministers. We will do it. And people see it and they do not want us to come together. But money said they don't want to see us come together. They don't want to see us unite. All they want is to see us keep on fighting one another. From today, let it be on record. We shall never, we will never fight one another. We will be together and we will always remain together. I want to assure you that it's laughable when somebody wants to be the governor of Igbo State or governor of some middle belt state is going on a new bit. So somebody who will collect his money and smile, he said he will make it today. He will say, I saw that man. All such people will start with us. That cola nut will come to us. We will eat the cola nut. We will eat the cola nut. And secondly, when we come together like this, we make lose tremendous energy. Pay attention, please. This is a very serious point. If from the day you hear that the Agorok people in Aura are having their national day, let every people better attend. If you hear that the Igbo who struggle daily and constantly are having their Igbo, let every people better be there. If you hear that the Kakandas in Budo are celebrating their anniversary, let all of us be there. When they see this showcasing of our impressive demographics, they will be afraid of us. We will receive fear in them because we are the common group that are holding Nigeria together. Absent all that we know in Nigeria. The simple gentleman of the press, I want to assure us that the middle belt have come of age. We will choose our partners. And we will continue to insist on the social contract. Don't bring stolen money to us and say, vote for me in this office, vote for me in this office. The pertinent German question people going to ask is, are there jobs for our children? Are there jobs for our children? Are there land for us to build upon? I came here as a young surveyor in 1981. I was with you that time. The late governor of Oyo State, Surveyor, Kola Moishola. He needs the cadastral framework but he broke it down. Most of the topographical controls used by Julius Berger were done by him. I was privileged to be a very young, handsome surveyor then. Now I am an old man. But people still tell you that I am a stranger. Yeah, we are not strangers. The FCT is ours. We will carry everybody along with a commodious governance philosophy. And we want to appeal to the indigenous who are also our brothers of the Igbo belt. the Aborigines, totally with us, we are one. Don't come to us only when you are slapped and you are kicked and you are muzzled. Be with us. Let us design and construct templates, governance templates and structures of how to kill the elephant and share the meat. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if ever there was time for us to come together and take a principle stand, if ever there was time for us to recognize that we can only be great when we recognize the other person, it is now. A few months down the line, the complexion of our politics is going to change. The nationality interests defined by the founding fathers of the Nigerian state are going to be redefined, reassessed. We evaluated most prominently in class, but that is not the easy point. What are we going to do? We must collaborate seriously to see that we change the effective balance of forces in favor of our people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure us that we have been in politics. We have been in politics. By the grace of God from the FCT, I was a state chairman. I became a national committee secretary. I became a national secretary. I became a national chairman. And many of them we also have those specialties. And I want to assure you that we are going to come together. We are going to orchestrate technical and material conditions for a convergence. And we are going to stand as one man. When we stand as one man, there will be nothing impossible for us. And then lastly, my attention was called to some campaign stomping where somebody was threatening to banish people, to visit mayhem and assault on people. That is not it. We in the middle belt, we will always stick by the objective middle and avoid extremities. Whoever wants to throw the FCT into the waters of violence will be decisively dealt with. Will be decisively dealt with. Politics can be sweet, it can be fun, it can be inclusive, and that should be our ethos. In the closing, I want to acknowledge our compatriots from the south, from the southeast, from our nation. And one of them is hiding from the southwest, Pastor Williams from Ondo State. I don't know why he's hiding. I want to acknowledge all of them. I want to say we in the middle belt are prepared to rub minds with you. Let's go to the governance table, what will impact our people, and then the generation of the FCT. I believe with that, nobody will come to that to see flyovers and high-rise building. People will come to have a piece of the action, to have their own share of the national cake. And that is possible, that is feasible, that is attainable, that is doable, and that is realizable by everybody. I am ready.
You just heard it. That was the Middle Belt leader speaking. They say they are not the North. The Middle Belt is making it very clear that they are not North. You see, when the North will come and parade numbers and tell you, oh, they are the number, they have the number to make you president, they have the number to do this. Sultan of Sokoto will stay in his palace and become the commander-in-chief of Nigeria. When the Fulanese will be controlling Nigeria as if it is their palace, they tell you they have the number, they threaten you with the number. This is the Middle Beltans Forum. They are telling you that they are not North. The Middle Belt, you just saw them, they say they are not North. They are on their own. That is what they are saying in that place. They are forming their own block, and nobody should give them the identity that they are not. So you can see that Chukwu Okike Abiama is answering prayer, and everybody is waking up and doing what they're supposed to do. In fact, we had an alliance with them before. When Mazin Nandekano was around, Mazin Nandekano started the alliance. Mazin Samuel also entered the alliance before went out of the picture. You heard him saying there is a person from Igbo land there. You heard him say it. He also said there's somebody from Ududua who is hiding. He doesn't know why they are hiding. So that is what it is. I want you to know that we are not in this battle alone. And by the special grace of Chukwuka, we shall win. I saw another video that was made by one brother again, the guy that spoke against about the Obi Kubana's character and whatever. And so many of us got angry. So the guy have seen the video that was made by that traditional ruler. And he came out also to congratulate the traditional ruler and he apologized. For those who were angry, for me, I wasn't angry with that video. The video that guy made, Fayoshe, I wasn't angry with the Fayoshe video. Because I knew where he was going. Because I understand that kind of message. That's what the kind of message that Mazen Nandekana himself delivered to the Yorubas. A message that will wake you up from sleep. If you are sleeping, when you hear it, you'll be forced to wake up. That is the kind of message that wakes a black man up. Until you abuse them, insult them, they will never do the right thing. So when Fayoshe made that video, I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry. Because it is those people that gave him the opportunity to do that. It is our people that created that chance. So I saw his video that he made recently, just today also, and he was apologizing and congratulating the tradition. I want us to watch the video and see what Fayoshe had to say. Because we follow up in all that happens. You don't only report when it is bad. When they apologize.
I want to thank our royal father from the eastern part of Nigeria for looking at our president in the eye and demand for Nnamdi from Sokoto prison. Thank you so much. Last week, all of you are bashing me, saying you generalize. I am here to say sorry for generalizing that all Igbos are cash and carry. Some, not all. I take it back with all due respect.
You're welcome.
And I'm thanking our royal father for looking at the president in the eye and saying, if Igbo can be free, then Sunday too should be Nnamdi too should be free. Now the game is balanced. They use what they have, the Yorubas, the Kabesis, they use what they have to talk to the president, and they cleared Igbo. Now the royal fathers from the east too are now coming together and saying, release our own brother too. So the conference and the working relationship can be sweet together. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, our royal father. Ikwe, God bless you, sir. God bless you so much. And all the Igbos that are offended last week by my videos about the Igbos cash and carry is not all. Few are cash and carry. And now our royal fathers are now correcting it by demanding for our brother in this. So I'm now happy. You can see my video is helping. It's waking others up. God bless Nigeria. Today, the Muslims will be fasting. Christians will be fasting Lent. They use religion to divide us. But the universe brought this fasting this year to the same day, to the same time. All we need in our country is not so much religion. All we need is love and unity to move ahead, to change our country, to demand for our rights, and to demand from our leaders, to make our leaders accountable. All we need is love. The Muslims are fasting, the Christians are fasting. The universe has brought us together to fast at the same time. Let us use this fasting to reflect on the whole country, on how we want to go going forward. God bless us all. Amen.
You have spoken well, Fayoshe. For me personally, you have spoken well. That is the right thing to do. You apologized. Apology accepted. From the first time, I wasn't angry with your video because I know the angle you are coming from. Because we preach the same kind of message. Sometimes when you get angry, that is the message to wake the black man up. If you don't hit them, Mazen Nandekan is an expert in that kind of message. He will deliver it. It will wake you from sleep. Even if you are snoring, you will wake up. It's a very hard message. It takes courage to preach. So for me, I wasn't angry when I saw it the first time. But all the same, we appreciate you for doing your own part and coming out to speak. It is important that at every given point in time, we must continue to do the needful. It is a must. We must continue to do the needful. Don't allow anybody to tell you otherwise. Don't allow anybody anywhere to deceive you. When they come with their propaganda, their blackmail, and their lies, do not pay attention to them. Now, let us go to the update they have in their news media and see what we can find there. You know how we do. When we see their propaganda and blackmail, we will stop it and we will expose them as usual.
Stories trending around the world is Bimba Mutiniri Ikpeyong, woman to woman. How are you?
We must continue to say whatever we have to say, do what we have to do whenever we have to make sure that things are done right. We must not allow ourselves to be used or abused. The responsibility we have is to make sure that the voice of the people is being heard. The reason I show some of their content in their media is for us to follow up what they are saying. When they speak that they are lie, we debunk it because people are watching.
Ramadan Mubarak and a blessed beginning to Lent to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
Doctor, are you fasting? But you're not supposed to.
Let's do the program.
Well, I mean, it's a personal choice. So, it's not something you have to tell anybody. It's between you and God. But let's begin with drama, violence, chaos, as Nigeria's 2027 elections took shape yesterday, as both chambers of the National Assembly retained manual transmission as a fallback in the event of electronic failure despite fierce opposition. Now, this was done on the backdrop of drama, chaos, controversy, and even humor in some instances. Well, here are 5 of the most explosive moments that set social media ablaze and set the tone for the narrative around the reforms. So we begin at number 5, where the somewhat calmer session that held in the Senate, where the vote followed a division as called for by Senator Inaya Abaribe. Well, this inspired the Senate President, Godzilla Fabio, to taunt him and mock him as he accused Abaribe for doing this to elicit positive feedback from social media users.
What Senator Barrier is asking for is that he would like to be seen there in the social media.
Mr. President, that is not true. I am talking for Nigerians, not for Senator Barrier. I want Nigerians to know.
He called him the social media senator. Well, at number 4, we have PDP House of Reps member Honorable Stanley Olamide expressing his outrage over the terms of Section 84 that will end indirect party primaries, declaring it as a fraud.
Come to Section 84. This is your
Well, at number number 3 is the moment the Speaker of the House, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, affirmed the motion to rescind the Electoral Amendment Bill as passed on December 23rd in the House of Reps, and this was in order to align with the Senate's position on the bill. Loud shouts of nay were heard, however, Abbas proceeded to declare otherwise.
Those against you say nay. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Well, at number 2 is the moment protesters who had been gathering outside the National Assembly for the past 1 week were dispersed with tear gas despite being peaceful. Activist ONYE AGHANA was amongst them and detailed how he felt that this tear gas was more intense than the usual.
Gas. They were gas with a poisonous gas. It's not a tear gas. Anybody who would taste it, if it was a tear gas, it was a poison gas that was released from a canister that was made by a policeman who has now run inside. You know, everybody was saying that they imported some odorless gas. Maybe this is the first one to come at this thing. Yes.
Well, any guesses for what's at number 1? At number 1 is the moment lawmakers stormed out of the chambers chanting against the ruling party. This video pretty much speaks for itself. Well, it was tough choosing 5 moments because there was so much drama yesterday, but we tried to sum them up. Maybe shall we begin in Abuja with Dr. Abati? Your take, again, there was so many moments, but what grabbed your attention?
Well, I mean, the drama was, of course, foreseeable, and so nobody should be surprised that yesterday you had some persons, minority caucus in the House of Representatives, chanting that the APC seems determined to rig the election in 2027 on the basis of the disagreements that they had with clause 60, sub 3, which is about electronic transmission, which they insisted must be done real time and that it should be mandatory. Now, again, the other issue that they disagree with had to do with clause 84, which has to do with the mode of primaries, with the amended copy talking about direct primaries and consensus, whereas the minority caucus insisted on indirect primaries, whereby, outside external bodies will not be able to dictate that, there will be internal democracy within the parties. Okay, the failure to achieve their objective, in fact, led to their walking out in protest. And then in the Senate, the contentious part of it was the division that Senator Abaribe asked for, as you pointed out. Eventually, that was allowed, but the contentious issue was clause 60 and also clause 28, which is about date. Okay, there was no contention over clause 28. Which is the reduction of the dates before commencement of elections from 360 days to 300 days to give, the INEC room for maneuvering with regard to the election coinciding with the elections with Ramadan. However, we've not seen the end of the drama. As the Senate President summarized, well, the minority figures, they showed courage. But the Senate President says, well, what has been done is innovative. But whatever it is when the law is tested that we will see the outcome. And you can expect that in 2027, the drama that we saw yesterday, there will be even more drama before then. And that's Mike Igene, former resident electoral commissioner, what you would recommend to President Bola Ahmed. And he says that in fact President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should not sign this bill as proposed, because that's the next stage now. Will the president grant his assent? That remains to be seen. I go back again to Rufai asked him a question, and I would have wanted him to clarify when Rufai asked, will IRL be justiciable? And he said he disagreed with the decision in the matter Atiku versus IRL, presided over by Justice Sukuru. However, it needs to be reminded that the subsidiary legislation, the guidelines and regulations, cannot override the main act. And that is the decision of the same Supreme Court in Jagade and another versus INEC and another. So a subsidiary legislation cannot override. That was the decision at the JSC in that particular case.
Well, like you said, very aptly, Dr. Abati, there's going to be more drama. Very quickly, Rufai, because earlier in the show I heard you speak on Senator Baribe and the fact that, he stood his ground. And now he's being taunted for that, and they're saying social media senator. But is it not Nigerians that are on social media anyway? And, social media being a tool that is now being used to hold people accountable. So even if he's a social media senator, I don't think that should be an insult. I think it shows that he's accountable to a constituency.
You see, I don't want to dwell much on the people that stole democracy that are taunting others. What would they do? They've had their bounty. If you looked at democracy, the same people that as of 2013 were pushing for an electronic system of elections then because they wanted to remove Goodluck Jonathan, which was their biggest problem. But it has shown that all the politicians are the same. The cycle just only changes. Then the APC were the saints in 2012, 2013. Everybody wanted them so much because Jonathan was the problem. Now they got into power that we've seen they're even worse than Jonathan. In all of this, when we Nigerians get a break. So I'm not surprised about Mr. Akpabio that taunts Mr. Inaya Baribe for fighting for the future of this country. Because it seems that this system they've passed is going to benefit from it. And that's just it, and the system will help them. But the question is, when are we going to fight for those that cannot benefit from it? What's it called? Barrister Guinea was talking about the fact that he shouldn't make President Tinubu sign it. Barrister Guinea, I don't want to think I'm not a betting man. But let's go there this morning. If President Tinubu does not sign it with his two hands, I will come on air and be dancing skill. He will sign it. But you can't scale away anyway. That's not a fair way. You know why? Because they should come out and lie to us that this is not their plan. You see, when Balogun came and he was trying to change what we know by saying what they passed in the House of Rep was what they passed in the House was the same what they passed in the Senate. You will know that they were liars. Yeah. So let them keep deceiving themselves.
So on social media, yes, please, very, very clear. Briefly, I'll say that you're absolutely right. I wanted to just buttress the point that sometimes when they try to downplay very powerful platforms, don't forget that social media was the trigger for a number of protests around the world, the Nepal protests, the Gen Z protests around the world. So you underestimate social media at your own peril. So if you're being called a social media senator, perhaps it's actually talking about the extent of your influence.
Is it not the same social
media? Okay, Rufai, unfortunately, we have to. Yes, I think this is a topic that, of course, is going to keep developing, and we're going to continue to unpack it. But we're going to look at another story, a human interest story. Ayo, the son of an abducted veterinary doctor, Dr. Ifeanyi Obu, who was killed whilst in captivity, has surfaced on a bus to Kenny Town. Young Anthony Ifeanyi Obu, who appeared looking malnourished, recounted his experience following the kidnapping of his entire family in Kungabokum in October last year. Anthony told passengers on the bus how his father and brother were killed whilst pleading for ransom for his sister who remains in captivity. He narrated that the kidnappers released him so he could go and beg for money to give them to release his sister.
What's your name? Igbo Anthony. Igbo Anthony. Igbo Anthony. Sit down with them. What? Sit here. Igbo Anthony.
We'll take a quick tweet just in reaction to this. Enyafe posted and said, will he ever recover? No. His father was killed right in his presence. His elder brother was killed in his presence too. Released to go home to his mother so she can raise money for his sister's release. Nobody deserves this. Absolutely nobody deserves this. Ready. Terrible story, but it's a picture of the reality of a number of Nigerians. We have Dr. Anthony Obu's story on here, and we see his son. When he says son, you would even imagine someone older. This boy is too young to have had to go through this. Nigeria, unfortunately, has failed him and his family in this regard. But the story broke in October 2025. Armed men went to his residence, outskirts of Abuja, bordering Niger State, in terms of the location of Barakem. And when that happened, there was a public appeal as to the release or the finding out of the kidnappers. Down the line, we see that what a number of Nigerians resort to is the payment of ransom in order for them to have their loved ones released. In the event of which, if they are not able to do that, they get killed. So it is also an indictment on the security architecture, security operatives here in Nigeria, that too many times you see ransom being paid without an actual rescue, with apprehension or arrest of the kidnappers, meaning that Nigerians are left to their own, to their own fate. It's very sad, and I repeat again, this is one story out of a number of many other stories. I hope that at least what we can do for the young boy is to ensure that he's taken over by the authorities. He's given as much medical, psychological support to rehabilitate him. Can we please get his sister back? I cannot imagine what his mother is going through. But I want to repeat the fact that this is the reality of many Nigerians. It's not just about Dr. Ogu. Can we make every life in Nigeria count for something and actually secure the people in Nigeria? Very well said, very well said. And, we use him as we would say in Nigeria, as a point of contact with other people in his situation and just ask for intervention in insecurity. Now let's move on as the public continues to unpack the disclosures made by former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai following his attempted arrest and the subsequent charges that have been leveled against him. Social media users have reopened discourse about his legacy as the governor of Kaduna State. In light of this, Abubakar Idris, better known as Daddy Atta, the outspoken lecturer and political critic who disappeared on August 2nd, 2019, has started trending again as DSS has reopened the probe into his disappearance. Similarly, entrepreneur and lawyer Audu Mekori's interview with Charles Anyogolu on our daily talk show Primetime, where he shed more light on his alleged abduction by El-Rufai's administration, has also added to the conversation.
The government is not the police, and what we're saying is that there's a juxtaposition of roles we shouldn't be. Hand it to the police, let them do their job. They did their job. They released me. And then he came back and organized for me to be abducted. And that is why the court found and paid and they fined 14 million naira because it was unlawful, it was wrong, it was unjust. There's no basis whatsoever for it.
Well, there's so much conversation on this on social media. Let's quickly go to X, where Francis tweeted and said, being in opposition is all it takes for this government to know what to do. Daddy Atta disappeared years ago. His family cried and pleaded for the government to do something, but nothing was done. El-Rufai is now in opposition, and suddenly they remember to investigate. Sad. Bushman said, if there's anyone who the media has done so much damage to his persona, it is El-Rufai. Most of what he is being accused of are only figment in the imagination of his accusers. Two very different tales. But meanwhile, videos of President Tinubu and El-Rufai in one another's good books have started doing the rounds again on social media. Well, let's take a look.
Openly begging Nasir El-Rufai not to run away for additional degree. Their brother Nasir, make a promise. We won't let you run away from the country. That's the only way I will leave this podium. Promise. Okay.
politics. Dr. Abati, you're in the seat of power right now in Abuja. Let me come to you for your take on these stories. All right, well, as we get ready. Okay, there you are. Thank you.
Yes, in politics, there are no, as they say, permanent friends. There are only permanent interests. And, I see that you played the tape, taken from when the president was a good friend of Nasir Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State. But now the situation is different. Maybe perhaps in the future, their interests will align again and they will become friends. That's what that maxim about politics is all about. But the main story, however, is about Daddy Yatta. He was a lecturer in the Federal University, I think, in a place called Dusima. But he had his own in Kaduna. And he was a very staunch critic of the Kaduna State government at that time when we had Governor Nasir El-Rufai accident was in the saddle. And, people on social media have also shown indications, tweets or, on X by Bashir Bello, one of the sons of Bashir El-Rufai, one of the sons of the Malam Nasir El-Rufai, saying that Daddy Yatta is not a good friend of their family because he was always criticizing his father. People have also pointed to that. But however, the gentleman disappeared August 2019, and you'll find people saying, where is Daddy Yatta? 6, close to 7 years later, Daddy Yatta has not been found. That in itself should be condemned. Nobody should just disappear without trace. In a country like this, where there is government, where we have the security agencies, and 7 years later, we're still saying, where is Daddy Yatta? The matter would not have come up if Nasir El-Rufai himself did not refer to it on television, when he said, well, he did not know any Daddy Yatta, he had no connection with him, and that investigators should look in the direction of Kano State, almost finger-pointing former Governor Ganduji, who was governor of Kano State at that time. Now, so it is what has now brought up the issue. I think it's not fair at all that a human being will disappear and we will say we will now start investigating 7 years later. So there is a problem about the timing. There is a problem with the fact that anybody can disappear in the country. But we urge the investigators, now that they have woken up, not to leave any stone unturned, whether it's in Kaduna State or it's in Kano State. And maybe Malam Nasir El-Rufai will also learn some lessons from this. Vulnerability is never an asset. When you talk too much, you can talk yourself into trouble. That may be one lesson that he needs to learn.
And a very apt point. 7 years, almost 7 years, and we're still asking, where is Daddy Yatta? Rufai, your very quick takes on this.
For the fact that we are shamefully asking where is Daddy Yatta because a political imbroglio happened between El-Rufai and people that he was in bed with before is an indictment on our country. By today, we should have brought out Daddy Yatta and he should be suing and claiming all his rights that have been denied him all this while. That's if we know where he is. So it's not the time to be asking where is Daddy Yatta. They should bring him out wherever they kept him. But Vimba, are you surprised? You see, this country, sometimes when people talk, you think we just talk. I don't know, maybe you are gotten to this country, but do you know that a minister of justice was killed in this country, never got justice? Do you know what killed his wife? The heartache of that exercise. His wife was a justice in the temple of justice in this country. The heartache that her husband never got justice killed her. Just that you can. So how much more that he had? Today now, El-Rufai pushed it to Ganduji. Ganduji said, no, it's not me, they are pushing it to each other. You heard the account of Mekuri. That was how they came to take him, and El-Rufai forcefully put his hand all over that, despite the fact that he, as Mekuri claimed, he retracted. You see, we don't have a country. What we have is a joke. When it happens to you, you will understand. No, Vimba.
I have to say God forbid. No, but I know what you mean. Yes. Yes, sure.
So, the people that Nigeria happened to, the over 40 people that were kidnapped as yesterday, that Nigeria happened to, didn't they say God forbid?
They said God forbid, it's true.
It happened to the Yatta now.
Yeah.
Who is this next? We have a joke.
Well, You know, I think it's all about, that's why we're here at the advocacy, for us to be able to demand better so our leaders can do better for us. Well, meanwhile, as Ramadan and Lent officially begin, a Nigerian cleric known as Prophet Sam Olu-Alo has sparked commentary online after his claim that having the 2027 elections during the fasting period would discourage election malpractice. Prophet Alo made these comments on Monday at Jesus City Camp in Lagos after his church's annual fasting and prayer session. Speaking with journalists, he said in part that he supports INEC's decision to have the elections on February 20, 2027 during Ramadan and Lent because the fasting period will help the public to prayerfully elect their next leaders. He added that having the polls at this time will give us the opportunity to do things with the fear of God and not manipulate the elections. Well, I know several people will stand in contention with that and say there's so much hypocrisy. But, you know, Ayo, we've got the FCT Council elections coming up this weekend and they will fall squarely into Ramadan. You know, do you think there will actually be any impact on the election on the fact that people are fasting?
I said it earlier this week that, you know, tongue in cheek, that let's even have the elections during the fasting season. Maybe we would have less ballot snatching. But many of these people have a religion that they follow. So maybe during the holy months, they will just be more pious. You know, Nigerians like to keep up a bit, let me not generalize, or sometimes people like to keep up appearances and they're like, oh, this is a holy month, I don't want to sin against God. Let us do it during the month and really test the religiosity of Nigeria. But we'll find out. But let us see, you know, the FCT elections like you mentioned, and that takes me back to a more serious conversation around the fact that as a secular state, should this conversation around elections being held during fasting season even occur in the first place? Because like I said, it's just the hypocrisy of a number of people. Because whilst some people are fasting, some of them are still partaking in all of these things that destroy the nation. And so, yes, it might be a time to pray, but we're always praying in Nigeria. There's a place for prayer and there's a place for action. You cannot do one without the other. Even the Bible says praying without works is dead on arrival. So I think the important thing is just to instill in Nigerians that the value system, you know, respect for democracy, a respect for institutions and structures, a respect for, you know, for the rule of law. I think that's the most important thing. It's not about religion, because a number of these people who are committing these atrocities, who are corrupting themselves, are religious people. So it's not what you profess, it is who you are and what you do. That is the loudest. It's by your fruits that we shall know you.
It's by your fruits that you know, I love that that's the point you landed on, Ayo, because reactions have trailed a viral video from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's trip to Adamawa State on Monday, which shows the moment that an APC fabric-clad woman sprays popular musician Dauda Rarara with Naira notes in front of the president. The woman was reportedly immediately cautioned, but let's take a look. Oh my logo. Money spraying or using Naira notes as prompts, of course, we know is illegal. It is called defacing the Naira.
I dare EFCC. I arrest that woman. Let's start from
Dr. Abati, your quick take on this moment of, can we call it temporary insanity?
No. You know, in Nigeria, people say spraying Naira and all of that is a cultural thing, a way of appreciating people. However, in our laws, it's an offense. Section 21, sub 1 of the CBN Act of 2007 says you cannot treat the Naira in a way that devalues it. It's a national symbol that should be respected. Hence, Bobrisky was taken to court. Hence, Big Cubana was taken to court, but he had a very smart lawyer and he was able to escape the penalty of a fine of either 50,000 or 6 months imprisonment or both. So it's a question of the law. But Rarara or Mulugu, well, whoever was praying will probably get away with it. Secondly, the issue about Ramadan and voting during Ramadan. Look, the big issue here is that in Nigeria, there is a gap between what is called private morality and public morality. It is that gap between public morality and private morality that will nullify the point that because people are fasting, either Christian or Muslim, that they will be pious, they will not read. These same people, they go to church every week. Some people, are even church workers. Are they not the same people who are misbehaving all over the place, either in their private lives or public lives? So religion is a big problematic in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Well, we are still daring the EFCC to arrest that woman, because if you can do it to Bobrisky, as long as you picture that spirit, arrest that woman. Let's say you're working, I dare you, EFCC, arrest her and bring her to the public. That's what we know you're serious.
And I mean, she did it in front of the president, no less.
She received immediate presidential pardon.
Pardon, yes.
I don't know about that. Well, let's take our next story with a new video being circulated on social media, which has shocked users. It shows one doctor identified as Adiola Oyerinde as she takes viewers through a 24-hour shift as the only doctor at the General Hospital. In the video posted on Instagram on Monday, Adiola starts her shift at 9 a.m., covering multiple wards, including the NICU, and conducting an emergency C-section before ending her shift the next day at 9:30 a.m. Let's take a look. System, but also just to celebrate her, the good work that she's doing. However, with the Rufai, you were making points about the budget performance, how much of the actual budget for the Ministry of Health has been released and realized, and then you see that this is the state in our healthcare facilities is unfortunate. Very quickly now, in another development, a new video of an Australian writer and strategist, Mark Pollard, has sparked controversy online as he demands in a now trending video why begging culture is so rife in Nigeria. In a video that has now garnered thousands of comments, Pollard recalls his recent trip to Nigeria and questions why he was asked for cash numerous times at the airport, security checkpoints, and even at his hotel. Here it is.
Nigerian friends, is your entire country set up to shut people down? Because coming in and out of the airports there, I was told that you give me cash at least 10 times. A lot of the roads have security checkpoints, but are they security checkpoints or shakedown checkpoints? Even going into my hotel, people weren't just looking me up and down to see if I was carrying anything dangerous. They were looking me up and down to see if there's anything that they could ask me for. Am I overreacting? Because this must stress you out on a daily basis.
Some people on social media have started calling Nigeria Abegistan. Abegistan.
Face palm on. So terrible. I mean, the truth is that this man hasn't said anything that a number of people are not familiar with. We are familiar. In fact, I think the embarrassing thing is that it is bad behavior that has now become culture in such a way that it is expected and it is almost understood that okay, you have to drop or anywhere you go to if I really agree to this kind of particular greeting, madam, good afternoon, you just bring out the money and give, because that is the whole point. But it is embarrassing and we need a full cultural shift if we are going to deal with it. So I want to apologize for behalf of Nigerians to Mr. Pollard for your experience, and also for all Nigerians who have had to go through extortion in the form of begging, but it's also finally a reflection of the poverty, not just in terms of pockets of poverty mentality and mindset of a lot of Nigerians here. It's very sad, and people should not be put under duress to give.
That is it. This is not Uzbekistan, so we need to make sure that we do everything possible to get rid of that brand for Nigeria. Now we go to milestones, where today we are remembering the life and the decades of impact of Reverend Jesse Jackson, one of America's most influential black figures of the 21st century, who died at his home in Chicago on Tuesday morning at 84. Jackson was born in 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, during the Jim Crow South, where he lived through the forced segregation laws of that era. His activism began early, leading a group in 1960 known as the Greenville Eight for a peace read-in at the city's segregated library. From then on, he played a seminal role in the American Civil Rights Movement, working closely with Martin Luther King Jr. He stayed with King's organization, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, well after King's assassination, later forming his own social justice organization known as the National Rainbow Coalition, with the goal of empowering people of color. Jackson was unrelenting in his push for equality within and outside the U.S., even visiting Port Harcourt for the Garden City Literary Festival in 2011. As a guest speaker, he met with leaders and students to speak about the power of literature to move a country forward. Throughout his life, Jackson personified what an individual can achieve from the most humble beginnings, an idea he spoke about at the 1988 Democratic National Convention.
Every one of these funny labels they put on you, those of you who are watching this broadcast tonight in the projects, on the corners, I understand. Call you outcast, low down, you can't make it, you're nothing, you're from nobody, subclass, underclass. When you see Jesse Jackson, but my name goes in nomination, your name goes in nomination. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. And it wasn't born in you, and you can make it. Wherever you are tonight, you can make it.
May his soul rest in peace, and of course, we'll continue to remember his many, many, many years of impact. Thank you so much. That's all we have on What's Trending today.
So that is it. We have had it. We still have one more video to look at. Let us look at it. You see, these are just updates. It is important we look at the media and we continue to bring information to your doorstep. Let us look at one more video before we call it a night.
Now, just the other day, Nigerians were informed that the collaboration between the United States and Cuba results to the extent that the United States will deploy some soldiers to Nigeria for reconnaissance, training, and the rest of them. 100 of them we heard arrived in Nigeria not too long ago, over the weekend actually. And then we saw, movement of copters, helicopters, ammunition into Borno, in Maiduguri, and other parts of Nigeria as well. But then we hear that insurgent groups, Islamic State West African, have acquired drones. Does it seem like they're getting sponsorship from some international organization? Is that what it feels like? Is Nigeria becoming a battleground for foreign powers that are interested in all of these things? I'm surprised you're asking this question. I'm asking so you feel more like that. Because Late Buhari, our former president, told us that these insurgents, that they are not Nigerians. So asking the question in 2026, whether there are foreign in the US is assisting Nigeria to combat these individuals that have invaded our lands. Is it okay to say that these individuals are also getting support from some other monies, in international space that are also fighting to keep them in Nigeria? The question is, what are they fighting for? What is the goal of protection? What is the reason for this whole fight? That they get killed, slaughtered like
Like,
What do you think the reason is?
I don't know. Maybe when Donald Trump was talking to one of these events, international events.
I mean, America says its reason is to protect Christians.
Yes.
That's its reason.
Yes.
So
maybe our own reason is to, maybe the reason there is to make all of us decide one day to become Islamite. Because people like ONYE have stated it, that there is a colonization agenda. This man, who was the French minister, Danjuma, also stated it, that the armed forces, most of them are colluding with the bandits against the interest of Nigerians that should protect ourselves, even though people tell us how we can protect ourselves. The thing is that we are seeing that government is not interested in fighting these people. And let them be careful so that we don't allow Americans to get, any Americans to get come up with this whole shenanigans.
What do you think will happen if that happens?
Well, I wouldn't know, but it's not going to over well for Nigerians.
I think it's not over well for Nigeria.
For Nigeria and Nigeria. Yes, because this one we are playing. The government has not shown any seriousness that they want to stop this rubbish from continuing. This orgy of violence, of killing Nigerians without cost, without consequences.
Government obviously is so overwhelmed and so this.
They are not America. They were compelled to accept help.
Mr. Aranta, we are talking about textile drones here. We do know that security at the borders and all of that can be porous, but how is it possible for textile drones to be transported maybe via road or even by air without any security alerts? How is that possible? And then the details of the specifications of these drones are even scary and mind-boggling. How is it possible that all of this?
From the time of Jonathan, we have said that there are people around members in the cabinet. So that was before 2015. Today, we have who are been accused by top people in government to be sympathizers, to be enablers of terrorism and of government. So, asking these questions, I don't have to answer.
Mr. Ranta, let's return to the issue of government sincerity. You say that the government is not interested in fighting this. And the government is collaborating with the United States of America.
I think we are compelled to accept the American intervention.
Okay, so it's an issue of capacity, lack of capacity.
It's not capacity. It's not about capacity. It's about political will and sincerity of purpose. Because, look, have we stopped that policy, that obnoxious policy of de-radicalization, that those that they have military have managed to apprehend? That policy that they say they want to de-radicalize them, and then they will reintegrate them into the system. That they pay them money from Nigerian taxpayers' money, the strength of Nigerians, and this will be taken care of, giving them money, they have to pay them. Why the people they killed, the victims, those that the survivors are people.
When it's difficult to understand your position on this, if you say the government is not interested, apart from military and bilateral military cooperation with the United States of America, I think they just returned from Turkey, like not long ago, when you also signed a military agreement, understanding MOU in Turkey. And before now, we also know that when he came into office in early 2023, he went to France. And there was an MOU on military cooperation between Nigeria and France, all geared towards fighting insecurity. So, if you put all of these things together, we need to say that the government is not interested in fighting insecurity.
Well, the government went to talk. Just when Shogumi, the army of Kumi, constructed or suggested or whatever. You see, the issue is that I keep saying that we are not interested in stopping this whole thing. Because if that is happening, if we're serious, government would have cancelled the policy. Government would have started showing us that those fixed colonists in the military would have been needed of when the public. At least, delivered by UAE, when they say Malami has. Especially put it out when Malami to leave the list. And that is, all the look at the UAE and get the list. When other people blame them and shame them, prosecute them, and they don't really know.
Okay, will it be appropriate to say that well, government might be interested, but they are not doing the right things? Like people are not interested and not doing the right things. If I'm interested and not doing the right things, why not doing that? When it became something of interest for them, when they move, they had the capacity. When they move to the Republic and fell and the government was come. So apparently it is not the lack of capacity. Lack of capacity. And we are buying more capacity by collaborating with other countries. You see, when we get this, let us say that we should ensure that these one things will not lead to the loss of an American soul, their soldiers in Nigeria. Because those people don't play with their citizens. The lack of every American peace taking so serious. That was why they came there and went to the border between Nigeria and Nigeria and rescued an American from the hands of terrorists. And on their way going, the women flag or and saying, you can't move, whether I'm mad. All right, let's quickly run to Waka, we still have Dr. Dennis Ekemeze. Dr. Ekemeze, I'm sure you have followed this conversation. Now, Nigeria, the ISWAP, the Islamic State of Capital Project in Nigeria, has acquired 35 votes to help them in fighting Nigerian military. I mean, this sounds scary. How do we react to this development, especially within the context of the arrival of 100 American soldiers? Well, the issue is that America has told us that they are going to be involved in not in field operations, but in tactical support and intelligence. Now, these drones have the capacity to target areas where we have Nigerian military. I would like for you to tell us what might happen if they use these drones and target where American soldiers are involved in intelligence or tactical support operations. What might be the likely outcome of all of that? It's shocking in the sense that it is portraying a terrible situation in Nigeria. And from your question, I don't think America will take it lightly. Just as my colleague said, they're always very interested in their citizens. And everything possible will be done by America to protect their citizens. And that is the major issue. The another question is, what is Nigerian government doing? What is the nature of the collaboration? Because you mentioned the signing of the MOU, where the terms or the spirit and letters of the MOU not known to you, even if what is the political way and the principle? And we are here in Nigeria scrambling for electronic transfer and then accessories of national security advice. And it was the question. How do you know such a thing by information gathering, surveillance, and intelligence gathering? So the nation secret and is becoming a very terrible situation. However, America will not allow these things and will not allow the cost that have set up to die like that. Dr. Ekemeze, when we frame issues around authority, or lack of political will, are we actually being fair to this government? Because the guest in the studio, I just read out to him, and I'm sure that you heard it. Any efforts the federal government, the current administration has made to show that, well, we are interested in routing out terrorists. They went to the United States, there's collaboration. 100 of them here. Our president just returned from Turkey when we signed an MOU, military cooperation, and we did that way back in 2023 with France. So what happened? I mean, if the government didn't have political will, if the leadership didn't have political will, we will go to settlement. We want to pick my spell. The political will has not to be interpreted for people to know. MOU. You can sign MOU. Yes, but what is the content? What is the spirit and letter of their signing of the MOU? That's the question. So can we take that of the United States of America now? Can we take that of the US? So the president of America was by force. Great. And we have the first lady examining the job of senior affairs ministers. What are we protecting in Nigeria? Ask the press. Of course, don't answer it. But can you speak? Until those people involved are not known by the government, then we will know their political interest is. It's a kind of interest. We want us to say, then we know that the people is just said. Because I'm talking about the United States, and we said, when you say it was forced, you know, that the soldiers are here now. And Nigerian government could have said, no, we don't want the soldiers. Because at some point, Nigerians look at them. Spirit power. They are doing spirit power. I hope you know that. Question, persuasion, and diplomacy. This is international politics, my friend. Okay, so we are not saying that America forced its way into Nigeria. Is that your position? I said you can use persuasion, you can use diplomacy in international military strategy. Okay, so whichever angle you want to take it, the analysis in here. What is political will? Do you not protect the interests of their people, the sovereignty of their nation? We are here in Nigeria discussing electoral transfer. I'm ashamed. Honestly, let's rethink. What in your opinion should the government do? Because when we keep talking about political will, lack of political will, what will happen? Let me tell you, okay, tell us, in government are better opportunity than us to do what they want to do. We know that. If you want to advise the government or what security advisor to the president is but to 10 seconds, the question we are asking is, if you were to advise the government, they're saying they know what to do, but they're not doing it. So, what is it that you know the government? What would you do if you were in a position to make decisions like that? What would you do? Well, or you basically don't know what to do. Yes, I agree in the combatant governments if they get into a quagmire. Because they are also stopped. Let them employers, let them employ us. Let us make us part of the good bank and repair them. Okay, so for you, it's about the question. Is that I'm not looking for appointment. You're looking for what? I'm not looking for appointment. I'm not looking for they just say they should employ me. If they need think time, they know what to do. Alright, thank you very much. Dr. Dennis is here. We're trying to, it's not just about pointing out, what governments have not done and the problems of Nigeria. On doing celebration, we also try to security matter. You don't showcase that strategy in security matters. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not saying that. I'm happy we are saying that we don't showcase, some security matters in public. When you want the Nigerian government to open to you the MOU they have with the Americans, and we talk here, and we chat. We
with you and myself, people to be made known to. There are people, yes, and those people that should learn. You are one of them that I want you to say. My friend.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dennis AKBC and Mr. Sylvia Oranta. Let's move away from this conversation. Let's look at what the ECOWAS court is saying. ECOWAS court confronts Nigeria over failure to enforce its judgment. Let's talk about this.
Stakeholders on the
now, ECOWAS is saying, look, we have given you all this, especially when it comes to human rights issues, but you're flouting it. Nigeria, a member of ECOWAS, flouting documents from ECOWAS court. What are the implications of this?
Nigeria is not just an ordinary member of ECOWAS. It's a very powerful member of ECOWAS. Nigeria is like the United States in world organizations like United Nations, like the World Bank and all that. That is what Nigeria plays. Very just recently, our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was the head of ECOWAS. And Nigeria is being a guide that we are constantly flouting orders of the court. It shows that it's a country we are preparing the state for anarchy within the ECOWAS region, same thing within the nation. But I'm not surprised because we do it here with most doing limits. They just abandon. They decide they will pick the one they will respect, what they will not. And even the courts in Nigeria, most of them do not make pronouncements that are clear and concise. They make it so ambiguous so that the court is supposed to interpret. But the court now ends up in Nigeria making the judgment so shrouded in several layers that they need to go back to another court to the court wants to move. And those who are taking where the others are vote against will decide to abandon it and nothing happens. So we are not showing leadership.
I was just going to say that, especially for a country that prides itself as Big Brother of Africa, what does this even say about our image?
It's a very badly behaved Big Brother that we are. I'm taking it out. But I'm very, very bad because democracy tries to go on the back of rule of law. It's law that we need, not human beings, not individuals, not government. Because government will come and go, but the law remains. It's the last week of the common man. Today in Nigeria, the judiciary seems to be the last week of the rich man, or the well-off, or the business. And you see, when we begin to act the way we are doing, we are seeing a very, very bad signal. No country that makes onion, we want to do business with us. No businessman who made this money to win. We come to a country where the judiciary, where the government flouts some order. But because if you have a problem with a state government or with an individual that is close to political, that is why we have a big case in discourse in Nigeria.
Mr. Rantra, we listened to already for the status of Nigeria in West Africa. Is Nigeria still the Big Brother West Africa? I have a question in the light of the fact that if you look at when international rating agencies, put out data and statistics there, they talk about, nations that are very well corrupt, and Nigeria is nested in countries like Senegal, Gambia, South Sudan. When they talk about poverty, Nigeria is nested in countries like, some poor West African countries. And when international officers, when they wanted to the head office, they bypassed Nigeria and went to Ghana. when Nepal wanted a head office, they bypassed Nigeria and went to South Africa. And when they went to rate Naira, they rate our Naira without women, South Sudan, and all of that. And we have big corporations leaving Nigeria and selling their headquarters in Ghana for their West African and South African operations. Because Nigeria is still big brother West Africa. Did you notice that maybe on the substance? Did you notice that there's no longer big brother Africa? Nigeria is supposed to be big brother to the whole Africa. I don't want big brother Africa, it's big brother Nigeria. But on a serious note, we are not big brother of anything anymore. Okay. But back there was when that has to be. When you go to Nigeria, when the Naira has weight, it's stronger, it used to be stronger than the American dollar. When you do passport make anything, who the hell are of people? Criminals are what are doing, occupying elevated positions. And even the action they take. See, when you keep telling people that we respect the sovereignty of the people, if you do not, example, a housewife married, if you come out and you let the world know that your husband is useless, don't care, you actually reveal the cover. The respect they are giving you, it's not just they are giving you respect because there is someone that's an authority that is covering you. So those people who are in few of them in government positions, they act as if people don't matter. They are actually messing themselves up because you want to know that these people don't have the backing of their own people. So they're just on their own. That is why there's a dearth of leadership. What you have is a sort of act of occupation, kind of premiere in power. So that is why the world is letting us go on different counts. And they're not ashamed.
In fact, one of the laws, Mr. Ransa, one of the laws that the ECOWAS court is asking Nigeria to repeal is the Kano blasphemy law, which prescribes death penalty for anybody who insults Prophet Muhammad. And so ECOWAS court's argument is that this is against fundamental human rights and all of that. But even back here in Nigeria, within Nigeria, Sharia law is also being tried to be implemented in some states that are not predominantly Muslims. What do you say to this?
I want to say something before I was distracted. When Donald Trump was addressing, one of the summits, he said that he was talking about Greenland and some countries in Europe were trying to. So the people have to support us. If not for America, that all of you, or most of you, are speaking German or Japanese. If not for this American intervention, some of us, maybe all of us, will be compelled to abandon whatever the job we have and follow a particular one by force of arm. I don't know what's happening in the children. When this government was coming, we said, look, you cannot do Muslim tickets. We said, no, it doesn't matter. But look at what they're taking us to. For the first time in Nigerian history, for even being civil war, it was not based that another country will come and hit targets in Nigeria that American soldiers will have this on ground in our country. So the better act now for the students.
Dr. Ekenese, please, can we hear your thoughts on this issue?
Well, I think we know the difference between birth and bread. Let me take that another. We don't go in the past. Because Australians were fantastic. But today, where are we? Well, first we are arguing about political will or non-political will. I want to bring it back also to I make technical glitch that institution will not be able to be managed. And that's where we are finding ourselves. We are trying that they have already dictated our problems. This is penal. And we are taught in political science courses that internal contradiction in a system is
we seem to have lost audio to Dr. Dennis here. All right, unfortunately, we're being told that we lost audio to Dr. Dennis here, and so cannot take his summation there. But let's wrap this up. Let's bring it back to the studio. We have Sobi around time. Now, Sobi, tell us, in concluding now, you're coasting home now. Let's bring all the conversations we've had so far. Now, what would be your concluding thoughts from the House of Reps, Senate issues to terrorists, showing in a show of force, as the military shows force, terrorists also show force. And to ECOWAS court saying, look, Nigeria, you are becoming recalcitrant, disobeying court orders. What are your concluding thoughts?
Well, I will start by, or I should say, that those who are elected, always have at the back of their mind that they are representatives of people, and that the future to decide with the people, and that if they discard the will of the people, those individual rules that make up the general rule that they exercise, they are also speaking themselves naked of every manner of authority. But to be in their own interest, they listen to people and what they want. Because you cannot be so sure of anything. Politicians have not shown capacity. They have not shown respect for the rule of law. They have not shown respect to governance, be it political, be it social, be it in every way possible. Economical. Innovation. So they have to prove to Nigerians that democracy is what Nigerians need. That's what. Then, when you talk about the show of force by the insurgents, the government must show capacity. They have the capacity. They must show it. They must convince Nigerians that they are serious about fighting these insurgents in Nigeria. Because Nigerians cannot be losing our brothers and sisters the way it's been going on. Without any, they say they don't cook. I'm sure that those people are filled up the overflowing capacity by now. The life of every Nigerians must matter. And that is what governance is all about. If you cannot turn the lives of your people, I don't know, and they are property. What else are you doing? What else are you doing? You say just to say blind that I'm in power. It's not enough. You must show that. And security. It's also something you talk about. People must feel that they are secure. So, government will do the needful. By doing away with that the radicalization policy, the integration policy, they must bring off all those dangerous colonies that are in this Nigerian military. And then they must name those people, blacklist, bring it out. When these people once admit that they are being sponsored, both locally and internationally, we must ensure that those people who are sponsored, at least once we know around, they must be brought to people. America just brought out about 8 minutes or so. But you cannot outsource those things to others. There's a limit to something that the one somebody can do for you. There are things you will do for yourself and will do those things. And finally, on the country, this disrespect for others, we will show that
we are the people governed by law. And when you start law, the next thing you have on the table is anarchy. So it is left for them to expose those people. Is it anarchy they want or no? They must make a choice. Thank you.
All right, making a choice, basically. That's your summation. Now, I understand that we've lost connection to Dr. Benson these days, so unfortunately, we can't take his concluding thoughts at this moment. But I must say a very thank you to you, Dr. Dennis, for coming on the program, and also thanks to Socio-political for coming on the program. But this is how far we are on BOP TV.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We have heard it. It's all about the failure of Nigeria. Everything said here is to show that Nigeria has failed, a failed state that will not work. If you had paid attention and listened to one after the other, you will understand. The reason I play these programs is to confirm what we say on social media. Because sometimes when we push our own informations on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, people tell you that because we are speaking on social media that we don't know what we are saying. So that's why we bring you information from the conventional media. You compare it from what you hear from us. And when you put them together, you see that they are still saying the same thing we are saying, but in a different manner. They say it to please their government, and some of them cannot speak the way we speak. We understand. When they speak, they add their political correctness. But those of us in social media, we don't add any political correctness. We say it in a layman's language that you understand. But as you have listened and watched, you will now understand that the same thing we are saying is what they are saying. Nigeria is a failed state, cannot be secured, cannot move the right direction, and there's no remedy. The only remedy still remains disintegration. Allow Biafrans to go, and every other region that want to go can go. If they want to be in Nigeria, they can remain there, but it must not be by force. Let the people take the decision. Honor our referendum or conduct yours. Let us compare. That is all we're asking. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate everyone that's here. Like and share to other platforms, share to other people so that they can get this information. Good night, everybody, and have a wonderful sleep.
This is from Biafrans Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died, that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memories still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I thought that remember when me tell you say I thought that yeah, I remember that one that called us a prospero. But the way you go like a papa nuku. But then when we go me tell you what I look pandi what pandi samiro me tell you what I day. For me the front and the rest of man I tell you what I me nobody come to tell them
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together. No retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart. We'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom. They died for our freedom.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history that the death of our people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwacha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
Then we are starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Raise the flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in our eyes for our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a gas, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwacha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwacha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Yeah, put the flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is.
I'm looking at myself in
We
the
must
mirror.
revenge, and we must stand to represent who